So the macula refers to the central portion of the retina. Before the eye sees, light rays from the particular object that you want to see travels all the way through the eye, through the surface of the eye, that is the cornea, through the lens, the vitreous, then it gets to the retina. The retina is the light sensitive portion of the eye. So the retina is more like the junction between the eye and the brain. So when the light rays hits the retina, then it goes through the optic nerves, which is the nerves that carries information from the eye to the brain. The macula, as we can see in the picture displayed, is the central portion of the retina. So the retina is like the yellow portion when you look at the back of the eye. That's the yellow portion of the back of the eye, and the macula is the small portion marked over there. The macula is responsible for central vision. So before we can see details, before I can look at your face and be able to pick all the details, it takes the macula to do that. For more accurate work like reading, driving and all that, it takes the macula. So the macula is for well-defined images and central vision. Again, then we go back to the age-related macular degeneration. So it refers to changes in the macula. Especially or typically when someone ages. So it normally occurs after age 50. So that's all about age-related macular degeneration. So there's degeneration of the macula, which is the central portion of the retina that's responsible for central vision. And its cause is as a result of aging. So simply age-related. So it's age-related macular degeneration. I hope it makes sense now.
Yeah, it does. Are there clear cases of younger people having this?
No, we could have some retinal or macular degenerations, but this time around we are looking at the age-related macular degeneration, so it's quite specific. So this one is usually related to aging.
So are you saying that if you're 50 going upwards, no matter what you do, you're going to experience that?
No, not necessarily. So there are triggering factors, or let me say, there are people that are more, how should I even put it?
They are more
prone to that. It's more likely that they might get it. One, for people who have family history of age-related macular degeneration, it's likely that it's not automatic, but it's likely that you could have it. People from Caucasian background, it's more typical in them. People who smoke, people who drink a lot of alcohol.
All types of smokes, right?
Smoke be smoke. All the smokes, yes. Now there are a lot of smoking here. So people who smoke a lot, they will be prone to AMD. So age-related macular degeneration can be shortened as AMD. Yes. So for all these people, so it's not typical that as you are 50, you will definitely have it. Even in Ghana here, I think we just have 1% of the population.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I was thinking, is it the same as this glaucoma, other types of these macular degeneration?
There are types, but AMD is way different from glaucoma. Different cries. They are not the same. They all affect, glaucoma also affects the retina, the back part of the eye, but it's so different from AMD. AMD has types, obviously. It has two types. The first is the dry AMD or the atrophic AMD. Then the second is the wet AMD. The dry AMD is the most common. For people who have AMD, about 90% of them have the dry form. Then just about 10% have the wet form. The difference is mostly the dry one will start, then as it progresses, it goes into the wet form. When we have, let's look at the degeneration. So mostly the degenerations are as a result of the formation of drusen's at the retinal level. When we talk of drusen's, they are made up of a collection of waste materials like cholesterol, proteins, fats, and all those things. So as one ages, it's possible that there will be such deposits. I wish we could have the picture. So mostly they are whitish or yellowish at the back of the eye. I must say that it's only in the eye that you are able to see live vessels. So for the first picture that was shown, you realize that you could see vessels with blood flowing through them. And that's what makes the eye a diagnostic organ. So a lot of the health conditions that one may suffer will have indications on the eye. So all the red things that you see, they are blood vessels. You see the blood vessels on our skins, they are covered with skin. Yes. But these ones, when I look into your eye, I'm able to see the live vessels. So depending on how I see them, I'll be able to know that you have other conditions.
So these are some of the symptoms? Or the
no,
signs?
this is just regular,
Just
like the
regular,
normal retina. This is how it looks like. So the dry form, when the dry form starts, you see that now you just have mostly is orange. The back of the eye looks orange. Then you have the red streaks or the blood vessels in there. But when the drusen starts, you see some yellowish or whitish deposits at the macular region.
So these whitish deposits, like let's say when you look at my eye, can you see?
No.
Okay.
It's way at the back portion. So when I look at your eye, I just see the front, the white parts. I don't even see, you see there's the lens there, that's oval shape. I don't even see that. I just see the black parts and all that. But when I look with my ophthalmoscope, I'm able to go way to the back there, then I see the nerves and everything. So when I check and I see those white deposits, white or yellowish deposits, then it means, especially at the macular region, it means you have drusens. Those are the drusens, so they are dry. That's the dry form of the age-related macular degeneration. Then as it progresses, it has the tendency of getting into so it starts with the dry, it goes to moderate, then severe, then it goes into the wet form. The wet form comes about as a result of the retina trying to repair itself. So when it has the drusens, it means it will be short of blood supply. You don't have enough blood supply, the vessels will be dying out and all that. So the retina tries to repair itself by producing smaller blood vessels. Yes. So as the smaller blood vessels come, then if you are not fortunate, they begin to leak. Those vessels are not as strong as the regular vessels that are in the eye. They are very delicate. So when they begin to leak, then it leads into the wet form. The wet form has the tendency of causing severe vision loss. So the dry forms may have some vision loss, especially at the central parts. In most cases, even in the severe forms of dry AMD, people are still able to have their peripheral vision. Again, we mentioned that the macula is responsible for the central vision. So as I'm looking straight ahead, that's where is the macula that is working. That's how I'm able to see. But the peripheral vision, so I'm looking straight without turning, I'm still able to see you. Yes, I see Chrissy, I see this side. That's my peripheral vision, yes.
I see.
So the peripheral vision is just the area around, not the central part. So the macula is just a small portion, then all the other areas are for the periphery. So even in the severe state of AMD, people are still able to maintain their peripheral vision, but the central one will be missing. So reading becomes difficult, driving becomes difficult, and a lot of activities become difficult. Good, the picture is here. So when we look at the first picture, that's the normal, how the normal retina looks. Yes, everything is nice, orange and all that. Then when we look at the second, that's the dry form of the AMD. The picture is not too sharp, but you can see there are some whitish substances, small, round there. That's the dry form. When it gets to the severe stage, look at the picture down there, the green side. The first picture, everything is clear. But the severe states of the dry AMD in the middle, you realize that if you look at the green portion, the middle has some whitish.
It's fading off. The green is fading off.
The green is fading. So the central vision is affected, but you realize that the periphery is not too bad.
That's true.
Then when it gets to the wet form, when the blood has started leaking, the vessels have started leaking and there's blood at the macular region, then you have the black portion. You will not be able to see the central portions in your vision. Yes.
What are some of the symptoms of these age-related macular
So the symptoms, as we can see, so even the green side shows some of the symptoms. Then we have distortion of images. So sometimes people will be reading, then after some time you realize that the central portion is missing. Everything is just jammed up. People report of distorted vision, so there's maybe a straight thing. Everybody sees us sees it as straight, but the person will say that it's a bit crooked. So those are some of the symptoms. Some people may complain of flashes of lights and all those things. So those are the symptoms of AMD. Sadly, for most of these chronic eye conditions, you will not see the symptoms at the early stage. When you start seeing the symptoms, then it means it's going to, yes.
Too late. There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
Oh.
And for most issues with the back of the eye, because of the nerves, when they die out, you can't really regenerate.
I was going to ask you that if you have a family history, what are even the symptoms for you to quickly look at so that you can quickly come in and check? But then you're saying that before you get to see it,
then it's too late.
It's long gone.
Yes, so early detection is always key. It's just regular eye examination, dilated eye examination. Even the regular one that we just check, we might not be able to get. So we have to put on some drops. You sit for a while, the eye opens up wider. Then we get a better look at the back of the eye. We assess the nerves, the macula, and all that to make sure everything is intact.
But are there things that one should do to sort of like, when you start to experience some of the symptoms, that can actually help to manage or regulate this?
So mostly, even before you start experiencing the symptoms, foods that are rich in antioxidants, foods that are rich in vitamin C, lutein, zeaxanthin, omega-3, all those things help protect the nerves of the eye.
The lutein, zeaxanthin, you mentioned the foods that we can look at, because
I think the most common source of lutein and zeaxanthin is watermelon. Watermelon is very good. It has a lot of lutein and zeaxanthin. If you remember in our previous discussions, even when we were doing the computer vision and all those, now I was saying that for people who use the screens very often, because of the exposure to the light rays and all that, it's good to be taking watermelons because they have the lutein and zeaxanthin, which protects the back of the eye. Yes. As for omega-3, the oily fish, salmon, tilapias, and all those things. Vitamin A's are not difficult. Liver.
Vitamin A, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the watermelon, can you take it with the seeds as well?
If you can choose, some people are able to blend and like the smoothies and all
chew
that,
the
and it's
seeds.
good. Yeah.
Naturally.
It tastes like nuts.
Yeah, it's more like.
But let's look at some of the risk factors and how it can be controlled.
In fact, if you are looking at risk factors, there's nothing like causes of AMD. So the risk factors will be like the ones that we mentioned previously. So you are at risk if you have a positive family history. You are at risk if you smoke often a lot. Yes, you are at risk if you drink a lot of alcohol. You are at risk if you are over 50.
The alcohol is beer part.
No, it's alcohol. I mean, the question is,
but if it's too much,
wine has got alcohol.
Yeah.
So the point
I'm asking because some people feel that beer is water. They
especially
don't, they
the Germans saying, yes, that's their water. But it's always to keep drinking under control. You shouldn't drink too much.
Yeah, moderation.
Yes, in moderation. So for 4 of the risk factors, 2 you can control, 2 you cannot.
That is true.
Yes.
Special water.
Yes.
There's always a special water that you can drink. Yeah.
So you're saying that when you get to that stage, especially the dry stage, there's nothing you can do. You just wait to lose your vision or what? Not
necessarily. For a long time, there was nothing like treatment for dry AMD. But I think somewhere around 2023, that's quite recent, they brought some medication is more of injectables, like yes,
they inject through the eye.
Yes, through the eye. But that is to manage the condition. So whatever stage you've gotten to, they can't reverse it. But what you have, they make sure that it will not get worse. Yes. And that is not even a guarantee. Yes, it may protect it in a way, but definitely it's likely that it might progress. Then the wet form, there's always been treatment for the wet form. Treatment, not cure again. So that one too, they have injections that you take periodically. They will inject the eye. Yes.
Jesus.
Inject the eye.
What about surgery? Is there any form of
for
surgery?
now, no. Not necessarily. Mostly is the injectables.
I've been hearing about laser, like lasering the eye.
So sometimes they do laser to block. We talked about the neovascularization in the wet form of AMD. So when you have the small vessels coming, then they're able to use some laser to block
those ones.
Tiny vessels so that they don't leak and cause damage to the eye.
But what if you are continuing to have those things? That means every time you would have to go another laser to actually get those things blocked?
Mostly you go with the injections. So you have schedules depending on the state.
Okay. Wow.
So when you have AMD, we would have to check and see the stage. Then we give you a treatment regime. Maybe they will say that every 3 months, depending on the stage. Say injection, but
injection. Some people
at least you weigh the advantage over the disadvantage. If you go through some small pain and you are able to maintain your vision.
But one thing that you said that made me happy is that only 1%.
In Ghana, yes, we don't have a lot of. But the sad thing, the most serious thing about AMD is the fact that, especially in the US, is the leading cause of irreversible blindness. Some of the blindness can be reversed, like cataract. If you have cataract, you can just take it out and you'll be able to see. But this one is irreversible.
It's irreversible.
So it's 1%. It sounds nice and all that, but God forbid if you have a relative having it, then it doesn't look interesting
at all.
I know. But so when we come to filter eye, do we have these regular checks that we can?
Yes, so we have we do the dilated eye examination. We have the optical coherence tomography. That's more like a scan of the eye. We scan the back of the eye to see if the vessels are okay.
Yeah, you scan the back of the eye?
Yeah, we scan.
How is that done?
There's a machine. You put your head in the machine. It uses light rays, just like we have the scans, but this is for the eye. So the light just goes through. It's not painful. The light just goes through. No. It's just light. But we'll scan it, then we see the vessels and the arrangement and all that. So if there is anything like that, we are able to pick it on time, then management begins.
Okay.
All right, so how can we be aware of ourselves so that some of these things that some of us are not even aware that it's something that can happen to us?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're saying that just 1% of us are the ones that are getting it, some of us might be getting it, but we just even don't know that this is something that is even happening to us. What do we do?
So I think for now, the best you can do, because you cannot wait for symptoms. So the best you can do is just to have your annual examination, just annual dilated
regular
checkups.
Not
just
the
check
ones
and
that
see.
you look into the. They will
not
tell you
just
that do this and then not that one.
No, not. So all those things are part. Definitely, whenever you get to the eye clinic, we will just take you back to class 1. Whenever you get to the eye clinic, you will read. Yes. So aside that, we do the dilated eye exam and examine the back and see if everything is fine.
Interesting.
You know that when we talk about health benefits of some food, there's this particular fruit that helps with macular degeneration.
Yes.
And we've been asking, what is macular degeneration?
Yeah. We've been asking about it a lot.
Yeah,
that's
so
interesting.
I'm glad that we've talked about this. And 1%.
So now you know the macula.
Yes, at the back of our eye.
For central vision.
For central vision. Anyways, doctor, thank you very much
you
for educating us on this. And I'm sure viewers are also educated and they'll be looking out for it. And then eating healthy. We cannot exercise. What sort of exercise? Just normal one?
Normal exercise. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, as for the eye, anything that goes through, even the Bible says the eyes are the window to the body.
That's true.
So anything that keeps the body healthy will in turn keep the eye healthy. So exercises are also very good.
Massages also good.
Massages are good. We mentioned that the drusen's are formed by deposits of cholesterol and all those things. So exercises are definitely good for these things here.
That's true. And are there some foods that we need to avoid?
Any food that is not good for the general well-being is also not. Foods that has too much fat and all those things are not healthy for us. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Dr. Ophlia Kyeiwaa from Filter Eye. We've been talking about age-related macular degeneration. I have learnt a lot. I know Nanakwisi has also learnt a lot, and you, our lovely viewers, have also learnt a lot. Thank you very much
for coming.